So to recap, here are the three major points. First of all, we need the wind. And who is the wind?
Holy Spirit.
The Holy Spirit, yes. The Holy Spirit is the power for us to sail through our lives. And without it, we're stuck going nowhere, drifting. But to do that, we have to set our sails. And what are our sails? Our spiritual ears, right. Hearing and feeling where the Spirit of God is leading us and directing us. And we want to make sure that the set of our sails is full. In other words, we want to be fully devoted to the Holy Spirit because we want our sails to be full so that we can move as fast as we can to find that journey that He has called us to, so that we eventually reach the goals that and the various harbors that He has set us to do in our lives. And to do that, occasionally we have to tack back and forth across the wind. That's what the rudder is for. The rudder, if you're back here and have felt it, you would know that the pressure of the water that we're in other words, the world that we live in, sometimes pushes against us. And we have to turn against it in order to be able to get to where we're going. And that's synonymous with the world that we live in. The senses, the appetites, the people in the world that don't know Christ, they'll try to keep us from going where we need to go. But that's okay, because no trial or tribulation that we have does anything bad. It actually helps us towards God, helps us lead us towards Him. Yeah. So the rudder is that power of choice that no matter what the circumstance is, we're always maneuvering our way towards the goal that Christ has called us to, pressing toward the prize of the high calling of Jesus Christ. And then finally, at times we need rest, and that's what our anchor is for. Our anchor represents the fundamental principles by which our salvation is based. An anchor is often, throughout Christian history, been symbolic of salvation. It's the idea that the very heaviness of the truth and the rootedness of that truth is what keeps us safe. And so that no matter how hard the storms may come, that anchor digs in and holds us fast so that we, the little ship on the ocean, are safe even against the mighty winds and against the mighty movement of water of the world. And that's our salvation and what God has given us. And so sailing today, the analogy of our tripartite construction, wind in the sails, the water pushing against the rudder, and then the anchor keeping us in the harbor, that safe place where God gives us to rest, because He said that we should labor to enter into those rests. In other words, put into those harbors those little goals along the way that God has called us towards.
And tacking away sometimes in order to make our goal?
That's right, yeah. Sometimes because of the way the wind is blowing, the way God is moving, it looks like sometimes we're actually moving away from the goals. And I pointed out that many people came from other cities to come to MCs here in Oklahoma, but it's still part of their overall life goal, which may be to college, the marriage they're going to do, the ministry they may do, the career, the path they may have. But they still came through Oklahoma because that was God's way and God's will.
It's great. Thank you, Tim.
Really good. Thank you.
Good crew.
Captain McCoy.